Welcome back to Golf WRX's Winning What's in the Bag, where this week, shocker, we're taking a look at Scottie Scheffler's bag. I feel like we do his bag every week, but this time it's not from a PGA Tour event, it's from the 2024 Olympics over in Paris. He won the Olympic golf event with a final round 62. So between winning all the tournaments on the PGA Tour, winning a major, now winning a gold medal, I can't believe too many people are having a better year than Scottie Scheffler is in 2024. So we'll start at the top of his bag. Nothing has really changed in there. So if you've seen one of the other 6 videos we've done on him, it's going to be the same. But hey, if you're playing as well as Scottie is, why would you change anything? So we start at the top, and he has got the TaylorMade QI10 driver in play. This is kind of the standard head, not the LS, not the Max. But his is a little bit special. It's called a dot head, and the dot head is a lower spinning version of the standard QI10 that retail that we get. So in the loft, where his is an 8-degree head, you'll see a little dot in the upper right-hand corner, which you could think means degrees, but it actually designates it as a dot head. It's going to be a little bit lower spinning, a little bit more neutral bias ball flight for those tour players like him and Rory and a few others on tour who need that. So the spin profile is in between the QI10 LS and the retail QI10 that we have. His is an 8-degree head. It is set on their site that it's measured at 8.25 degrees, and he's actually got the hosel settings to an upright setting. The upright setting can sometimes, for a lot of players, help turn the ball over, hit a little bit more of a draw, and as we've seen, Scottie can hit some pretty good, powerful draws out there. It's shafted up with a Fujikura Ventus Black 7X. So the 70-gram version, it is tipped 1 inch in the driver, and it's applying length of 45 inches and a swing weight of D4. We move on to 3-wood, and his 3-wood is a matching TaylorMade QI10. This is going to be the bonded one, not the tour model that has the adjustable hosel or sliding weight. This is the bonded model, a little bit more forgiving, a little bit higher launching, a little bit bigger profile when you look down on it. It's a 15-degree 3-wood head, but it is measured at 14.75 degrees for his head specifically. It is shafted up with a Fujikura Ventus Black 8X, low launch, low spin shaft from Fujikura, 80-gram range. It's tipped 1.5 inches in the 3-wood, and it has a 42 5/16 inch cut length on it. So basically meaning they cut the shaft at 42 5/16, and then they put the grip on, which can add about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch depending on the grip. The swing weight on this one is D3, so just a hair lighter than the driver. So then we move into his irons, and although he's a TaylorMade staffer and plays TaylorMade irons, he does carry 2 utility irons that are both Srixon. So the first one's a Srixon Z U85. This is a 3-iron replacement, comes in at 20 degrees. It's shafted up with a Nippon Modus 3 Ghost Proto 10X. Now this has got to be very similar to the Tour X that they make currently, but what the Ghost is, it's graphite on steel technology, so it's a very thin, lightweight steel shaft covered in a graphite material, so you get the best of both worlds. You get the consistency and feel of steel with the lightweight and better feel of graphite, so kind of a combination there, and it's probably a Tour X that comes in about 112 grams, and it's got a similar profile to the Modus 105 iron shaft, which is kind of like a mid-launch profile. And then for the 4-iron, he uses a Srixon Z U85 that's 23 degrees, and it's shafted up with a True Temper Dynamic Gold X100, the Tour issue version. These were made in 2018. They're originally released. They're a little bit bigger, slightly more offset than the current Z utility that Srixon makes, but some players like that look, and they're not always concerned with having the minimum amount of offset. Some players are, some players aren't. Just depends on what they want. And then we move to irons, and his irons are the TaylorMade P7TW blades. These are the Tiger Woods blades that TaylorMade designed with him, and he's playing a 5-through pitching wedge set. The pitching wedge is playing just a touch weaker at 47 degrees, and the 7-iron is 35 for Scottie. They've got a slightly longer blade length, very thin top line, and kind of a progressive face height throughout the set. And they've got kind of a milled sole on it that is very cool. It's done by CNC milling. That way the soles are always consistent. You get the same turf interaction set after set when they replace them out on tour, when they wear them out, because they practice much more than you or I do. They're shafted up with True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Issue X100s, coming at about 130 grams, extremely tight weight tolerances, kind of lower launching and lower spinning. For wedges, he actually is using Titleist Vokey SM8s. So these are 2-generation-old wedges, and he's playing a 50.12F. This is the high bounce gap wedge, a little bit fuller sole, 12 degrees of bounce. I know we've talked about it a bunch. Great for full shots, doesn't dig, good turf interaction. And then he goes on to use a 56-degree sand wedge. That is the SM8 56.14F. So this is, again, full sole, great for square shots, great out of the bunker, and great for steep players or players who play in soft conditions because there's a lot of bounce and a lot of float. It gets through the turf really quickly and doesn't take a very deep divot. For his 60-degree, his lob wedge, he's playing a Titleist Vokey WedgeWorks 60 T-grind. The T-grind is typically about 4 degrees of bounce, has a ton of trailing edge, toe, and heel relief, allows the player to really open up the face without that leading edge coming off the ground, and you can play it on really tight conditions. If you play it square, it also plays with just a little bit more bounce than the 4 degrees that it usually has. It's shafted up with a True Temper Dynamic Gold S400 Tour issue, so this is going to be a little bit softer than the X100, but still around the same weight, even basically about 2 grams heavier. For putter, he's using a TaylorMade Spider Tour X. This is a kind of a custom model, or at least was, with a plumber's neck or L neck attached to it. Now they sold a few at retail. You can get kind of his model, but before it was kind of made specifically for him. It's got the True Roll Surlyn insert in it with the Pure Roll lines on it. So it's got those grooves that are 45-degree angle that put more forward topspin on the ball. It's also got the True Path alignment on top, so the big white line with a single black sight line on there. The loft is 3 degrees, the lie is 72 degrees, and the playing length is 35.5 inches. For the grip, he's got the Golf Pride Pro Only cord on there. This is the Green Star one that's 88 cc's. I believe it's the largest of the Pro Only cords that they make. And it's kind of got a rounded, little more oval back shape, and it's kind of a slightly arched paddle to it. For ball, he's going to be using the Titleist Pro V1, which is, of course, the 3-piece ball that is built to have a little bit more penetrating ball flight, a little bit lower spin on the driver, but still a ton of spin with the wedges for that drop and stop control around the greens. And then for grips, he's playing Golf Pride Tour Velvet Ribs. Now, I know the driver is listed that it has 6 wraps of double-sided tape. I don't know if that continues for the whole set, but he does play the Tour Velvet Rib, which is a very popular grip. On the underside, you'll actually feel a little like kind of raised ridge that runs along it that kind of like sits in the pads of your fingers and gives you that feel of where the face is at all times. So that is Scottie Scheffler's winning What's in the Bag from the 2024 Olympics over in Paris. Congratulations to him. What a year he's having. Hopefully, we'll maybe see someone new in the What's in the Bag next week. But with Scottie's game, who knows? So check back next week. We'll check out who's playing what and who won with what with our What's in the Bag.